Hello, YTPC. This is Ethan, Parsimonious Piper. Today, I've got Jon from Average Jon to have a quick interview with. Welcome, Jon.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself, just where you live, what you do, that kind of thing.
I got you. Well, I live in Louisiana. My profession I kind of try to keep private just because of what it is. But I
Sure
work.
thing.
I'm in a helping profession. I'm a father of three kids. Been married for about 6 years now, and been just doing my dad thing here for the last 4 or 5 years, just trying to find my way around and figure out how to be an adult, right? As most people do at this age. And it led me here to the YTPC. So,
All right. Well, before I go any farther, I probably should do a little housekeeping. I am smoking in my little 3-star Pipe by Lee bent poker, some more of that Savinelli 145th. Jon is doing this interview from his office at work, which, like many of us, our offices are no-go environments for our pipes. So, maybe he'll be able to join us on one of our Zoom or Google meetups and share a pipe with us at some point. So, Jon,
sure.
How long have you been smoking a pipe?
I started last year in hunting season. I can't remember if it was January or December, so not even a year yet. So it's been a great journey, though. I'll tell you that much.
Well, what got you interested in it?
Well, my grandfather always talks about smoking a pipe back in the day. He was a very big pipe smoker when he was in the military, and he had a lot of them. He had a huge collection that went to the wayside whenever he quit smoking. He just kind of gave it all away and all that stuff. And I've always been a tobacco man myself. I started out with chewing and then went to cigarettes, got really sick off of that. And it went back and forth. And every time, cold weather hits, hunting season, that kind of stuff, fishing, all that stuff, you go back to the stuff, you start smoking cigars and chewing tobacco with your friends and all that. I just got tired of it. It leaves like a dirty feeling in you. And so I said, let me try this pipe stuff. And like, I think the first one I tried was it was some kind of goopy aromatic, burnt the hell out of my tongue. And then I listened to some more videos, right? And I got a can of Granger, and like it just took off from there.
Yeah, it's hard to go wrong with Burleys for new pipe smokers. I happen to love Burleys anyway, but yeah, I so many of us, our first pipe experience was with some kind of a Lane or Sutliff wet, goopy aromatic, or a
mine was Sutliff apple, I think is what it was, Sutliff apple.
Mm-hmm.
Because my grandfather had talked about this tobacco, and it was probably some kind of house blend. Now that I looked it up and all this stuff, it was called Apple Jack, and he was at Fort Knox, and he used to get it all the time there. And so I was like, oh, let me try this. No, from the get go, that was not something I needed to start off with. So,
well, in this first year of your pipe smoking, have you discovered any particular pipe brands or shapes? Anything that you prefer over others, or are you still just really exploring?
I'm exploring a lot, but what I would say really has intrigued me here is there's a couple of shapes that I really just like the look of. One of them being the poker. I love a poker pipe, and a corn cob. They kind of look the same. They're the same kind of style and outline and stuff. Just the way that it feels, and it seems like you can put just about anything in a poker. They're not really picky about what you put in them. That's the one that's really kind of attracted me. And then I've recently picked up a military mount, which is a little cheap, Dr. Graybo Omega. That's very comfortable, I will say that.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with Graybos. They may be cheap, but they smoke really well.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be a great pocket pipe for hunting, because you can take it apart and throw it in there. And I do have one pot shaped pipe that is a short little stubby thing from Morgan Bones that is very good with Englishes. I pretty much smoke exclusively all my Englishes in that pipe.
Now, you mentioned cobs. Are you a smooth or a natural cob smoker, or do you care?
I care when it comes to using it, right? I love the way the finished cobs look. And I kind of have a good little collection. I wish I had it with me. I would show it to you, but I'm a cob freak. But I love the way a naked cob smokes, especially the little Eatons, little Missouri Meerschaum Eatons.
Hmm.
They stay. I have 3 or 4 of them in my truck just in case I lose one, you know. So they stay in there with a bag of Smoker's Pride, natural or classic, whatever it's called. That's my romping around the woods carrying kit right there.
There you
Nothing
go.
expensive that I don't lose, you know.
Yep. But and I asked that just because so many people go, oh, I don't like cobs, but I happen to love them too, and I'm a naked cob guy. I just like the texture of that
Oh yeah.
unfinished cob in the hand. It just there's something almost visceral about it.
Oh yeah. It makes you feel like Mark Twain himself when you're
There
holding
you
it, you
go.
know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no frills.
Okay. Now, so you mentioned one tobacco. Um, have you settled on any particular type of blend that you like the best?
When it comes to, yeah, I mean, I would say with codgers, I strictly, I have a few codgers. I like them all. You know, to say I don't like codgers, it would be a lie. I like them all. The ones that I stick with are Granger and Smoker's Pride Classic. If you, I tell anybody this: if you like Carter Hall or Prince Albert, you really have to pick yourself up a bag of Smoker's Pride Classic because it's like a third of the price, and it's a mixture of the two toppings, and it's very good, you know.
Now,
And
I will have to do that because I'm a Carter Hall fan. I'll have to try that.
okay, yeah, and I can't take the credit for that. When I was still doing it under my while still lurking, as matches would say back in the day. Um, I commented on a lot of people's stuff. One of the people who was really helpful was Pipes and Shores. He recommended that to me, and I took off from there. You know, and I was like, I just gambled on it. It's $13 for a bag from Pipes and Cigars, and was like, glad I bought it. You know, because it's I mean that'll last forever. Just about because it's so much in that bag. I think it's like 12 or 16 ounces. I forget what it is.
Yeah, it's around a buck an ounce.
Yeah, ridiculously cheap and very good for the price. So, but for tin tobaccos, I would say right now, if I had to choose a favorite in the tins, it would be an aromatic, and that would be walnut maple pie. That was that I got from Old Carolina Pipe Cottage. That stuff is phenomenal. And then I think it would have to be Maltese Falcon at the moment.
Have you met
Yeah.
or followed Curmudgeon Piper yet?
I followed him for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's his blend, that Maltese Falcon.
Yeah, and I would say Samuel Gowath, what is it, squadron leader, but I if you can't get a hold of it, it doesn't earn a spot in my favorite list. You know, I have a big jar of it because I got it on at a dented tin sale a while back from one of the websites, and I just kind of keep it there and I dip into it on special occasions. But you can't be my favorite if I can't get you anytime I want to. That's the way I put it. You know.
That certainly makes sense. I know there are a couple of us like Onion 2 a.m. pipe on the patio, and that he likes the Black Irish twists, and those can be hard to find.
Yeah.
I know that's one of my favorites. But yeah, it can be difficult to source.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I think I mentioned this in one of the videos. I've tried to make this complicated in the past, this hobby, you know, pipe smoking and stuff, and I'm just not going to do it. I don't I have enough complications in my life. My hobbies don't have to be one of them.
That makes a ton of sense. So one of the ever-present questions: how did you find the YTPC, and what got you into presenting?
I will say this, and I probably am the only person that when they YouTube pipe smoking didn't come up with stuffing things or matches 860 or um, mutton chop. When that first thing that popped up for me was actually Aristocop.
Hmm.
I think I binge watched the majority of his videos on there. And then from there, it went to Eric, Blue Collar Pipe Smoker. And then eventually I made my way to Paladin Piper, watching his
Hmm.
videos. And what made me stick with him is not that we like the same taste, but we taste the same things when we taste things. And so I just kept watching his reviews to hear, like, because I don't like to waste money. So I don't like to
Hmm.
buy things that I'm going to hate, and to keep listening. And then I started commenting on his videos and all this stuff. And he kept urging people. And, I've always kind of wanted to do like a YouTube type thing. And this seemed to be an easy way to get my feet wet, because you guys, like, I don't think there's anything else out there in the YouTube world like the YTPC. There's not a homesteading community. There's not a community for any other hobby, but this is the most welcoming hobby I've ever found in my life, where people actually want you to do it. Like
Yeah.
every other hobby, hunting, fishing, people just kind of want to tell you kick rocks. It's my hobby, stay out of it. And this one, there's only this one and archery hunting are the only two that I've seen where people want you to do it because they don't want it to die out.
Yeah. Well, and to piggyback on that, one of the things that I love is that there isn't any negative competition between channels.
No.
There's no real rivalry. You encourage each other to get as many subs as you can and to put out good content, and because we're not monetized, so there's no monetary incentive to get everybody to watch me but not you, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's that, and I think there's no criticisms to be given to the YTPC. In my opinion, the only thing that I would say that I would encourage more presenters to do is to be to include more of their whole life into it. Now I understand there's a lot of people like that like to have their channel strictly as pipe smoking. That's great, but I think that people like Ray and even Paladin, to a point where they bring in the other elements of their life, that just attracts more people to being open to this.
Yeah, I think
And
that's probably behind the explosive new stardom of Hobbiton.
mhm. Yeah,
Because he's just this genuinely likable guy who pulls in all kinds of things into his stories, and you know and he's
I,
a rock star.
yeah, I think one of the people that I think has probably brought more people to the YTPC than maybe he gets credit for or whatever is George Bruno. His I don't know if you subscribe to him or not, but
Yeah.
his whole thing, man, is wonderful. I think and I think I'm not going to name any names out there, but there's a few pipe channels out there that are outside of the YTPC, so to speak. They don't mention it, they don't say anything about it or whatever, and they're bigger, much bigger. And he doesn't do that. He still mentions it. He's still a big, I think, a big part of it. And a lot. I know when you have that many subs, you can't answer everybody. That's just
Yeah.
ridiculous to think about 200,000 subs or whatever, trying to respond to them. But that's a great like crossover channel, to
Yeah.
kind of bring a lot more people in. And I think that's the more that we do stuff like that, the more that you include all of your life into it, like, your outside hobbies, your family life, even your profession to a certain extent, it's just gonna do more for the PR of pipe smoking than anything else will.
Well, one of the things that I'm always amused by is when I see comments, just stick to pipes. Well, but if I go down to a local cigar or pipe shop and I sit down and talk with the guys, we're not talking about the tobaccos for 3 hours. We're talking about sports and politics and
Yeah,
philosophy and religion and all the stuff you're not supposed to talk about in polite company. But that's what makes it fun.
yeah. I was just watching last night. I was watching Greg from Tunnel Take, one of his videos. I love watching his videos just about every time they
He's
come
a
out.
hoot.
He said, I lost 3 subscribers and I gained 4 because of some content that I put out. And I laughed because that's already happened to me. Just being here a short time. They liked my first few videos, and I did one video and like I lost 2 or 3 people, and then I gained 5 in the same day.
Mhm.
You can kind of like see that, and it's funny because it doesn't matter to me, but it's just like, um, you know, you don't need those people to follow you. They're going to be like that anyway, so you don't have to worry about it.
So how did you pick your channel name, Average Jon?
I picked it because it's kind of, I don't know, it's maybe a little bit tongue in cheek. Life isn't average, but I try to be as average as possible, because I find that the more average you are, like as in when I say average, I mean like vanilla. I don't mean like just toeing the line is what everybody else is doing. The more vanilla you are, the more you stand out in life, and it's hilarious to me at this point and where we're at. Just the fact like me having 3 kids and I'm 30, right? 30 years old and I have 3 children. People think I'm insane.
Well,
you know,
they think what you're going to have, 10 of them before you retire.
yeah, or they're gonna think I'm gonna drive a minibus around with kids and all that stuff. And it's like, first of all, it's not any of your business. But second of all, it's doable. Plenty of people did it. I mean, if we were to take, my family and carbon copy it back into say 1970, people would probably think that, I'm just starting,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the more average that I am, according to me, the more I stand out. So it's a little bit tongue in cheek.
So we talked quite a bit about the good things about the YTPC, but what is it that keeps you interested in the YTPC?
I would say that on any day that I'm having a down day, I can't go in the woods. I can't always go fishing. I can't always call up my friends and have a day, out. I can't always go home and make my family make me happy or whatever. Because everybody has their own lives, and life goes on. But I can turn to this, find some content, and it's not detrimental to me. It's not complicated. It's not bringing me down. It's always there, right? Just like a pipe might be, so to speak. And it's been something that keeps me occupied and keeps me from, struggling in certain ways that I don't need to, so to speak. If that makes any sense. I don't know if I'm just talking in circles on that.
Nope, it does. Yeah. So you just brought up another subject. Without stealing any thunder for future content of your videos, what are some of your outside hobbies and interests?
Yeah. So my the way I see my channel going, so to speak, and what my other hobbies and interests are, is literally just being a dad. Being a dad, and being a guy, hunting, fishing. Like I've already said, I don't do a lot of fishing. I say that because I do a lot of pond fishing, which a lot of people wouldn't consider fishing, but it is what it is. Uh, Working around the house, I do maintain a little 3 acre. We call it our homestead. I guess it wouldn't technically be called a homestead yet. We're still trying to, we're still trying to be more. We try to become more self-sufficient every year. We don't like to rely on anybody. We live in rural Louisiana, and it. They say that the South is set back. I don't think it's set back. I think it's set right, so to speak. We have a cultural understanding of you need to be independent down here for the most part, and that goes across races. It goes across different cultures. Everybody down here, they can things. They have generators. We don't mess around down here. You're not gonna catch us off guard. Hurricane season's right around the corner always, so we know what we're doing. And so that's kind of the way my interests are, is that kind of stuff. Now, I do see, and I will do a little spoiler kind of thing. I do see my my channel doing a lot of camping content here soon, because me and my son are really getting into that. He's 4 years old, and like we've got a tent. We've started all that stuff, so I see that being some of the stuff that's going to kind of be predominant, because it's kind of hard to film a lot of like work projects and stuff like that. I got to figure out how to do that, but it's pretty easy to film, a tent, and stuff of that nature. So that'll probably be the next bulk of stuff that comes out with with my channel.
Very, very fun. Very fun. Well, this has been a fantastic chat. I think our the viewers are going to have a much better idea of who you are and what makes you tick. Got any parting words for the YTPC?
I just thank you. You guys are so gracious, and y'all have been so great to me. I think is the most amazing part of it is that the first people who subscribed to me are people with, you know, a lot of subscribers. You know, it wasn't like the little bitty guys, so to speak, like me. It was the guys like you and Paladin and even Yardism. You know, people like that. Y'all were my first subscribers, and I'll never forget that. You guys have been really great to me. Thank you.
No, well, you are quite welcome. We, like you said before, we love welcoming new guys in and seeing what you can bring and just getting to know you, especially over this last year and a half where our society has been so fractured and isolated. It's great to be able to share a pipe, even if it's just through a video. So, well, thanks a lot for your time. With that, guys, I'll tell you what I tell you every day. Light something you like. Check Jon out. His link will be down below. Enjoy your afternoon.